These YouTube streets have been on fire this past week with talk about none other than Sean Diddy Combs. The Diddy saga has more layers than a red onion. As many of you know, since late 2023, there have been a string of recent SA allegations against the billionaire music mogul and entrepreneur Diddy, or Puffy if you're TD Jakes. Several women, including Cassie Ventura, have filed lawsuits accusing the artist of abuse, including producer Lil Rod, alleging that he was harassed and essayed by Diddy and people in his social circle. Hello, beautiful baddies and gorgeous gents. I am your host, Wisdom's Daughter, and welcome to another episode of Bad Girls Talk because we do love to talk. As more and more victims come forward, it is becoming clear that Diddy has allegedly gotten away with committing crimes against women and men for a long time, with allegations of abuse by Diddy going back more than 30 years. And we're going to talk about it. But before we do, make sure you smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications so that you can be among the first to know when we go live or drop a new video like this. Butters and Black Soap offers high quality, handcrafted butters, black soaps, and oils made with all natural ingredients that improve the appearance of hair, skin, and nails. Try Butters and Black Soap's amazing collection of African black soaps sourced from Ghana and infused with ingredients such as turmeric, oatmeal, sea moss, coconut milk, activated charcoal, and more to promote healthy looking skin. Say goodbye to dry, cracked skin with the Sea Moss Body Cream by Butters and Black Soaps. This non-greasy formula will leave your skin soft and supple. If you want to achieve a natural, healthy glow, try one of their whipped Shea butters. Indulge in the luxurious feel of African black soaps and more by Butters and Black Soap. Shop now at www.blacksoap.com. Use custom code WISDOM for a 15% discount. Shop now. So on today's episode, we'll be taking a look at the timeline of the allegations and lawsuits Diddy is currently facing. The question is, with a 30-year history of SA, does that make Diddy a serial artist? In an article written by LA Times, published on March 26th of 2024, they highlight how Combs denied all recent allegations and how his lawyer, Aaron Dyer, slammed the execution of the Homeland Security investigation as an excessive show of force in a statement to the Times. This very investigation and the quote-unquote excessive show of force is the very reason why many celebrities felt the need to come to Diddy's aid, to support him, to show their support, as we talked about in our last video. Yesterday, there was a gross overuse of military-level force as search warrants were executed at Mr. Combs' residences. There is no excuse for the excessive show of force and hostility exhibited by authorities or the way his children and employees were treated. Mr. Combs was never detained, but spoke to and cooperated with authorities. Interestingly enough, I would also beg to say that there was an excessive show of force and hostility toward Cassie in that video. But anyway, that's not what this current video is about. Despite media speculation, neither Mr. Combs nor his family members have been arrested, nor has their ability to travel been restricted in any way. And although this article was written a few months ago, that currently remains the current status. The unprecedented ambush, paired with an advanced coordinated media presence, leads to a premature rush to judgment of Mr. Combs. Well, that was before that video surfaced. I wonder what his lawyer, Mr. Dyer, is thinking about now. I wonder how he feels about his client now. You know, as a defense attorney, one of the worst things that you can have to deal with is a client who lies to you, because how can you defend someone who's not telling you the truth? you really have to tell your lawyer everything, because whatever is going on is going to be found out. And, it kind of messes up your defense when you lie to your lawyer. So, anyway, it goes on to say that it's been nothing more than a witch hunt based on meritless accusations made in civil lawsuits. Meritless accusations. Once again, tell that to that video. And tell that to the person who leaked the video to CNN in the first place. There has been no finding of criminal or civil liability with any of these allegations. Mr. Combs is innocent and will continue to fight every single day to clear his name. Well, sorry to break it to you, Attorney Dyer, but Diddy is not going to be clearing his name anytime soon, or if ever. I mean, technically, he is to be presumed innocent until proven guilty, but that video said a lot. And so they go on to say that Combs, a hip hop artist, producer, and record label executive, billionaire, we should say, because I didn't realize that Diddy was a billionaire, who built fashion and liquor empires, okay, is facing a dramatic downfall in light of allegations of violence and abuse. Well, I'll say, here is a timeline of the allegations. So here we go. 1990. In a November 2023 lawsuit, a woman by the name of Liza Gardner alleged that Combs and R&B singer Aaron Hall essayed her and her friend in 1990. 1991. In another November 2023 lawsuit, Joy Dickerson alleged that Combs drugged and essayed her when she was 19. Combs also allegedly recorded and shared a video of the assault. Boy, oh boy, oh boy, Diddy, you got a problem. Because if you shared that video, that means somebody has it. And more than likely, that video is also going to come out. I'm pretty sure that this is going to turn into a kind of cat and mouse game where people are going to kind of be leaving breadcrumbs, and they're just going to little by little be like releasing a video here and a video there. 1993, Combs founded Bad Boy Records and began discovering and developing hip hop artists and producing work for musicians, including the notorious B.I.G. April 1999, Combs was arrested on suspicion of assaulting Interscope Records executive Steve Stout and pleaded guilty to harassment. December 1999, Combs was charged with criminal possession of a weapon after police found a firearm in his car following a shooting at a club in New York City. He and then girlfriend Jennifer Lopez were both arrested. Ooh, so this is why Jennifer Lopez's name was mentioned. And I didn't realize it back then that she was arrested because I remember that. I didn't realize that she got arrested with him. Guilty by association, Jennifer Lopez. So Jennifer Lopez also has kind of been quiet, hasn't said very much. And she was more than likely witness to a lot of things. Mary J. Blige. There are so many people that are intertwined with this Diddy situation. You're talking about pastors and princes, and it's a lot. Paris Hilton, and videos of allegedly of Pastor T.D. Jakes. I mean, I saw the video of Diddy's 50th birthday, which is the epic birthday party that a lot of these celebs like to talk about. And I heard T.D. Jakes, "Hey, Puffy, happy birthday." It was just weird. It was weird. Okay, 2003. According to a December 2023 lawsuit, Combs, former Bad Boy president, Harvey Pierre, and a third identified person allegedly drugged and gang-ard a then 17-year-old girl, only identified in the complaint as Jane Doe. The alleged assault took place at a New York City recording studio, and Pierre and the unidentified man flew in with the victim from Detroit. So this is one of the reasons why Homeland Security is looking into Diddy in terms of the trafficking issue, because he's bringing underage girls across state lines. 2005, Combs, then in his mid-30s, met 19-year-old Ventura and expressed interest in signing her to Bad Boy Records. 2006, Ventura signed a 10 album deal with Combs's label and alleged in a November 2023 lawsuit that he used this time to set the groundwork for his manipulative and coercive romantic and actual relationship with Ventura. A 10 album deal? That's like 100 songs, maybe more. She must have thought she struck gold. Like, wow. And, unfortunately, when you're young and you're trying to make it and you want to be a star, we're not really taught to read the fine print. We're not really taught to let lawyers look at things. Now, Cassie may have had a lawyer back then. She may have had a lawyer to look over her contract. I don't know. I'm just speaking in general terms because I'm thinking about what happened with TLC and what has happened with many other artists. We just get so excited. We just sign on the dotted line. Well, I'm pretty sure that SA was not what Cassie had in mind with this 10 album deal. Anyway, October 2007, Combs signed a multi-year deal with Diageo. Now listen, um, I may not pronounce all these names correctly, so if I get something wrong, just put the phonetic spelling in the chat. I appreciate it. A British beverage company to develop Ciroc vodka for a 50-50 share in profits. So this was one of those times when Diddy kind of elevated his career, kind of put himself even more on the map, so to speak, with this Ciroc deal. Is a really big deal back then. Really big deal. 2007, Combs and Ventura were romantically linked for the first time. In a November 2023 lawsuit, Ventura alleged that Combs took advantage of his position as the head of her record label and convinced her to take illegal candies before having relations with her for the first time. I'm just going to pause here for a second. Some of this could be a little bit triggering. So here's the deal. As the head of her record label and her boyfriend, we'll forget about the boyfriend part. Just as the head of her record label, that's a lot of pressure. And I can only imagine that Diddy used his power over her. You want this record deal, you want this deal, you said you want to be famous, then you need to do whatever is necessary. Many of you have seen What's Love Got to Do with It. And she was young. She was 19 when she met Diddy. So by this point, she's 21. She just wants to make music. She just wants to sing and record, her album and all of these things. And that's a really difficult situation to be in when you're being abused by your boss ultimately and you need your job, so to speak. So she also alleged that over the nearly decade-long relationship, Combs physically and actually abused her, often with witnesses present. Now, see, that's the part that I'm trying to wrap my head around. People were there. They saw what happened. Why didn't anybody help her? Is it because Diddy was in their pockets? Is it because he was paying these people off? Is it because they didn't want to lose their status? Is it because they were participating? Is it because they liked being able, having a seat at the table at his freak off parties? Like, what was it? The complaint detailed one incident in which Combs allegedly beat Ventura and repeatedly kicked and stomped her face, only stopping when she regurgitated. I'm trying to say these words nicely. Okay. And we saw that corroborated on the video. Ventura said in the lawsuit that Combs' tremendously loyal network who witnessed her repeated assaults were not willing to do anything meaningful to stop the violence. Wow. Yeah. That's the part that is hard because when things happen behind closed doors, it's you and that person, it's hard enough. But when these things are happening to you in front of people, it's embarrassing. But more than that, when you have people who are perfectly capable of helping who just don't, there's no way to describe that, to be humiliated and to be treated worse than a dog. Like if an animal were treated that way, their owner would be in jail. Hands down, no questions asked. 2012. At a point when Combs and Ventura were broken up, Ventura briefly dated musician Kid Cudi. According to the November 2023 lawsuit, Combs told Ventura that he was going to blow up Kid Cudi's car and that he wanted to ensure that Kid Cudi was home with his friends when it happened. Around this time, the lawsuit says the musician's car exploded in his driveway. A representative for Kid Cudi confirmed the explosion to the New York Times. Wow. 2013, Combs launched media company Revolt as a co-founder, which many of you are familiar with that and know at this point that he has stepped down from Revolt and is no longer earning, to my knowledge, earning any profits from that company. 2014, Combs expanded his deal with Diageo to acquire the high-end tequila brand De Leon. If only they knew what he was doing. If only De Leon knew and Diageo knew what he was doing behind the scenes. I can't imagine that these companies would have done any deals with this man. And I also have to assume that he's lost all his endorsements. June 2015, Combs was arrested on suspicion of assault with a weapon, with a Diddy type weapon. what else can I say about that? With a deadly weapon at a UCLA athletic complex following an altercation with a coach, during which police said Combs used a kettlebell. Are you kidding me? Combs' son played football at UCLA at the time of the altercation. Okay, let's just rewind this back. So, one of Combs' sons plays football at UCLA. And I'm just going to say Diddy. Diddy gets into an altercation at the athletic complex where his son plays football. And the altercation was between Diddy and the coach. And Diddy used a kettlebell. You know what? I need to show you guys what a kettlebell looks like. Hang on. So here you go. These are kettlebells. Okay, this is one example. You may have seen these before. People, usually men who lift weights, will use them to enhance their workout. And they can weigh 5 pounds, 25 pounds, 50 pounds. I don't know how heavy this kettlebell was, but as you can see, I mean, they're made out of iron. They're heavy. They're quite heavy. And Mr. Combs over here allegedly, used a kettlebell on the coach. Now, I don't know where he hit the coach or how heavy this kettlebell was, but you have got to be kidding me. Are you serious right now? August 2015. Ventura alleged in the November 2023 lawsuit that throughout her relationship with Combs, Diddy forced her to perform acts on male ex-workers. He allegedly forced her to he allegedly forced Ventura and the hired workers to take illegal candies, as was the case in a 2015 meeting described in the complaint. Okay, so he's forcing her and these male ex-workers, okay, and the chuckle is not because this is funny. This is not funny at all. It's just reading this, it's just really shocking. Combs also allegedly recorded the encounters and threatened violence if Ventura refused to participate. So ultimately, Mr. Can't Stop, won't stop forcing Cassie to take illegal substances and do things with these escorts. 2018, Ventura repeatedly tried to sever ties with Combs and met him for dinner in September 2018, per the November 2023 lawsuit. Combs allegedly forced himself into Ventura's home after the dinner and awed her, which she repeatedly said no and tried to push him away. Following this alleged assault, Ventura took further steps to completely separate herself from Combs. So, in the last video, I shared about people on social media that had a lot to say about Cassie and in her response, and there was some comments, which were most likely from men. I believe it was from men. Some really unfair comments, stating things like some women just like to have their asses beat by their boyfriends and things like that, and not fair, not funny at all, right? And so she did try to get away from him. She tried to get away from this man, but remember, he's kind of like her boss. He has her entire career in her hands. She has signed a 10-year album deal with him. She's stuck. It's not that simple. This is not just like a regular boyfriend situation where you just call your big brother and say, hey, this guy's, he's doing stuff to me. He's bothering me. This is a lot more complicated than that. If anything, where was the sarcasm and the criticism and the negative comments toward the witnesses who could have helped her and didn't, right? Some people are very cynical. Where was the cynicism then? So this is in 2018. She's trying to get away from him. She meets him for dinner. He forces himself into her home, and I have showed a number of videos about Diddy on my other channel, my main channel, and those of you who've seen those videos know what this man is capable of. You saw what he did to Cassie in the video. You saw him tear up his office for what? Because he's having an adult fit about getting what he wants. He gets whatever he wants. I mean, it's unreal. And I have to imagine that a lot of it has to do with the illegal substances that he was consuming that, just caused him to not be in his right mind. July 2022, Combs accepts a Lifetime Achievement Award at the BET Awards. Now, I'm sure, wow, the BET Awards, they probably are feeling like doo-doo right now, knowing that they gave this man a Lifetime Achievement Award. Now, I'm not saying that with his accomplishments, he didn't necessarily have on paper what looked like the qualifications for the award, but the way that he's treated his artists, the money that he stole, how he has torn apart people's dreams, their livelihood, not paid them fairly, stolen their money, just all these, what's the word I'm looking for? Corrupt practices. He literally built his career on the backs of other people and did not compensate them for it. 2022 to 2023, music producer Jones, okay, this is Lil Rod, alleged that Combs essayed him over a year-long period when Jones was living on Combs's properties and working on the production of the Love album Off the Grid. Jones also alleged in the February lawsuit that Combs tried to groom him into engaging, oh boy, oh my gosh. Oh, I wasn't expecting to read that. Okay. So Little Rod alleges that in his February 2024 lawsuit that Combs tried to groom him into engaging into relations with producer Stephen Aaron Jordan, aka Stevie J. Huh. Wow. So, wow. So now we know why Stevie J is capping for Diddy. Why Stevie J was at Diddy's house when Diddy wasn't there. Why Stevie J is standing behind his guy. because he has probably literally been standing behind his guy. He's probably literally been standing behind Diddy, bending Diddy over, getting bent over. Like, what the? Ugh, oh my gosh. Yeah. Other allegations from the explosive federal complaint, which was originally filed in February but amended Monday, included, I'm sorry, and when we say Monday, remember this article is from March of 2024. So amended Monday include Jones's claim that Oscar-winning actor Cuba Gooding Jr. essayed and assaulted him, and that Combs forced Jones to take illegal substances and solicit ex-workers, some of whom were allegedly underage. So once again, if you're wondering why Diddy is facing human trafficking and ex trafficking charges, well, there you go. He was Mr. Can't Stop, Won't Stop was up to no good. Okay. He should have stopped a long time ago. So this is a guy. So if this man, this fully grown man, got sucked in and victimized like this, what chance did Cassie have? If because men don't like to talk about it, but men are victims too. I don't know if you guys have seen. There is a show on Netflix called Baby Reindeer, and I'm gonna tell you, the show is really good. I binge watched the whole thing. It is. It's a. It's got like British undertones to it because I think it takes place somewhere in Great Britain, but it's a really good show. And it's not even a show; it's more like a mini series. Okay, and ultimately, not to give it away, but it's a comedian, and what we're seeing is basically his life now struggling with what happened to him before. Okay, and some of you are going to go watch Baby Reindeer. I don't want to give it away. When I tell you the show is good, the show is really good. And so as the each episode goes on, we get a little bit more information that explains why this comedian is where he is in his life and what happened. And the interesting thing is it is based on a true story, and the actor in the Netflix miniseries is the real actor who this happened to. So yeah, when we talk about men who want fame and who have a dream and somebody believes in them, and they're I'll make it, it's the it's the age old I'll make you famous, right? What is the cost of fame? I'll just just take a few of these substances. It's do it all, it'll make you relax. The next thing you know, you realize that something's happened to you. And I'm not saying that to place blame, because victims are never at fault, ever at fault. A predator is a predator. The thing is, it happens to men too. That's my point. It happens to men too. So we have Cuba Gooding Jr. and Stevie J. Okay. Allegedly doing some things they ain't got no business doing to Lil Rock, who was staying at Diddy's house. June 2023. Combs sued beverage company Diageo for allegedly treating the brands he co-owned, De Leon Tequila and Ciroc Vodka, as inferior black brands or ethnic brands, per the racial discrimination lawsuit his company filed. Diageo denied allegations of racism in previous statements to the Times. Interesting. With all the stuff that Diddy's done, Diddy is going to sue somebody? Wow. Okay. Little did he know that he has some lawsuits coming. Little did he know. September 2023, Combs returned publishing rights to some of the artists and songwriters signed to Bad Boy Entertainment. The surprise move restored publishing rights back to artists including Mace, 112, The Lox, The Notorious B.I.G., and his widow, Faith Evans. Now, I think Diddy's people must have known that something was coming, and they tried to get ahead of it. The sad part is that what Diddy gave these people, pennies. In some cases, it equated to just a couple $100, like nothing. November 2023, Ventura filed a ex trafficking and SA lawsuit against Combs, alleging a years long period of physical and actual abuse. The complaint says Ventura hoped to confront her abuser and to hold him accountable. I'm sorry, and to hold him and those who enabled his abuse accountable for their actions. Through his lawyers, Combs denied the allegations and settled the suit 24 hours after Ventura filed. Too late. Following the news of Ventura's filing, Dickerson and Gardner also filed lawsuits alleging Combs had essayed them. November 2023, Combs steps down from his position as chairman at Revolt TV. December 2023, a fourth lawsuit accusing Combs and former Bad Boy label president Pierre of GR, okay, that's Gang R, and X trafficking, was filed on behalf of a victim who was 17 years old at the time of the alleged assault. Pierre said in a statement the allegations were disgusting, false, and a desperate attempt for financial gain. Now, remember, this is the same incident that was video recorded. The same incident. So I don't know how they expect to get out this one because somebody has that tape. January 2024. Diddy withdraws his racial discrimination lawsuit from Diageo. I'm sure because that was costing him money. And now he really had to save up his coins, because not save up his coins, but he was going to have to divert his time and energies and his monies to his own lawsuits. In a joint statement to the Times, Diddy and Diageo, said the former partners had no ongoing business relationship, either with respect to Ciroc Vodka or De Leon Tequila, which Diageo now solely owns. Wow. Okay. February. Jones becomes the fifth person to file a lawsuit against Combs, alleging that he has aided them. Jones's suit names several notable entertainment industry figures, including Combs' son Justin Dior Combs, Universal Music Group CEO Lucian Grange, Stevie J, Young Miami, and others. Ooh. Carisha, please. Carisha, please. You should have pleased your way on up out of that situation long before stuff went down. Anyway, March 25th, 2024, Homeland Security searches Combs' LA and Miami mansions as a part of a federal inquiry into ex-trafficking allegations against him conducted by the prosecutors in the Southern District of New York. New York will get you every time. The investigation is ongoing, and Diddy is to be presumed innocent until proven guilty. On the 26th, TMZ reported that Combs sold off all his shares in Revolt TV, the company he co-founded in 2013, for an undisclosed amount. April 4th, Combs and his son Christian King Combs are named in a lawsuit that alleges Christian drugged and essayed a woman in December of 2022 while aboard a boat chartered in his father's name. Well, the apple doesn't fall far from the tree, so like father, like son. Yeah, I mean, who do you think he learned it from? The plaintiff, Grace O. Marquet, if I'm saying that right, was working as a steward on the ship. Combs' legal team called the allegations in the suit just another lewd and meritless claim. Well, see, that is their defense for everything. I didn't do it. It's all lies. Well, people got receipts, so it ain't all lies. April 29th, Combs' legal team filed a motion to dismiss portion of Dickerson Neal's November 2023 lawsuit that alleges he drugged and SA'd her in 1991. The argument hinges on the fact that the relevant state laws regarding revenge, corn, and human trafficking did not exist at the time of the alleged incident. So that doesn't make it right. Well, it was legal to do it back then. Come on. May 10th, 2024, Combs' lawyers continued to push back on the allegations against him in civil suits, filing another motion to dismiss the December 2023 suit that claims Diddy, Pierre, and a third unidentified person assaulted a 17-year-old girl. which there is footage. Now, let me just remind you, for those of you who didn't see the last video, on May 14th, Diddy posts on his Instagram, "Time tells truth." Very prophetic, because 3 days later, CNN releases the surveillance footage from the 2016 incident showing Combs and what he did to Cassie Ventura. Okay. At the Intercontinental Hotel in Century City. He's seen chasing her down the hallway and just unleashing a kind of violence that is absolutely despicable, horrible, deplorable, and as he said in his own words, inexcusable. He even throws a vase at her, okay, in her direction. He picks up a vase. Now, he does all this while wrapped in a towel. Now, how he kept that towel from falling off, I don't know. He must have glued that towel to his waist. I don't know how he kept the towel on, okay? That must have been a real long, extra long towel, because he did the most. The footage corroborates claims made in Ventura's November 2023 lawsuit, which Combs and his team categorically denied. They denied it. And then he didn't admit to it until he got caught. And because of an NDA, he could not say Cassie's name. And so he basically just says he hit rock bottom, I messed up, but he says the F word. My behavior is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in the video, but he doesn't acknowledge any of the victims. So May 19th, this is what I'm talking about. Combs apologizes via an Instagram video post for his behavior in that 2016 security video. Okay, so the video was released on the 17th. He apologized on the 19th, and he claims to have sought mental health services. I want to see the receipts, okay? I want to see what mental health facility you went to. Okay, now I understand HIPAA laws, they can't, but I need to see some receipts. May 20th, 2024. Ventura responds to Combs' apology video via her lawyers. In a statement, her legal team said that the apology shows Combs' pathetic desperation and his disingenuous words mean very little after he accused Ventura and the other women who brought allegations against him of seeking a payday. Okay? So, and now, which this is where the timeline ends for LA Times, but as we all know, because some of this has been updated, there is yet another victim. I don't know if you've spotted her in this picture or not, but she would be the one with the blonde hair. And so this is April Lampros. She is, I believe, the 7th person in all of this to sue Diddy, alleging and describing in detail 4 terrifying actual encounters with Diddy while she was a student at the Fashion Institute of Technology in New York City. Now, this young lady is smart, because not only did she bring forth a lawsuit against Diddy, but she came with receipts. Okay? She came with receipts. She has photos of the notes that Diddy sent her, cards, invitations to things like, his first Father's Day and all of this stuff. So, yeah. this little, listen, Madame came with receipts. Like, call me a lie if you want to. So stay tuned. You'll have to come back for that video where we talk about Diddy's new victim. I have the court docs. I will be reading the court documents. I have her formal complaint. I will be reading her formal complaint. I also have the formal complaint of another victim, and I will be reading that one as well. And so More videos to come. I'm doing my best to keep things short over here at Bad Girls Talk because bad girls do love to talk, all right? And we can go on and on and on, but these are just a couple of short videos to keep you abreast of what's happening with this Diddy situation. I hope that you have enjoyed this video, and if you have, please hit the like button, go ahead and subscribe to the channel, and turn on your notifications so that you can be the first to know when I go live or upload a new video. So let's keep the conversation going in the comments. Tell me what you think about all of this Diddy stuff. The question is, with all that we know about Diddy, with all of these allegations, with the receipts that we've seen thus far, with the lawsuits and all of the claims of SA, is Diddy a serial artist? Would he qualify as a serial artist? Let me know what you think down in the comments. A question that popped in my head because nobody is talking about it. Want to know what you think, and tune in next time for another episode of Bad Girls Talk. Thank you so much for tuning in to this episode of Bad Girls Talk, and I hope that you'll catch the next one.